Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Anshu Sharma here. This is the seventh presentation of Spiritual and Kundalini Awakening. If you have not seen parts 1 to 6, links are there in the description box. In video presentation number 6, we discussed, according to ancient Indian spiritual traditions, there resides a form of dormant spiritual energy at the base of your spine, symbolized as a coiled serpent. It is a divine feminine energy called Kundalini or Shakti, which is lying dormant unless it is awakened. So, what happens when it gets awakened? When awakened, Kundalini energy is set to rise through the chakras, energy centers along the spine, eventually reaching the crown chakra or Sahasrara chakra at the top of the head, leading to expanded consciousness, spiritual enlightenment, profound inner transformation, and blissful state or mystical experiences. So these are the universal life force currents in all of us. So the first force which connects us to the cosmic life force, the God's energy, is Kundalini life force currents, which is a high voltage current. Then it steps down to Kirasha life force currents. It further steps down to Maharata or Christos life force currents, and finally it steps down to Antakarna or Kundalini energy life force currents. We are going to take them one by one. The first current present in the sound fields is Kundalini currents. The Kundalini is described as the pure, primal, original life force current that originates from Akasha, the first expression of the source. This state is beyond light and sound. This state is pure consciousness. These currents, the Kundalini currents, are triadic in nature, made up of three primal currents residing in dimension 12, dimension 13, and dimension 14 frequencies bands. So it is considered, this force, Kundalini life force current, is considered pre-sound, pre-light, and pre-matter. Next to this is Kirasha life force current. What is Kirasha life force current? It is a step down transformer current. The Kirasha is a threefold current of, this is also pre-light and pre-sound plasma that makes up the eternal life force from the primal light fields. We just discussed the primal light fields are Kundalini currents. And then it steps down into our Eka Veka time matrix. We, human beings, we exist in Eka Veka time matrix. This current builds up the eternal light body, which can also be called, or which is called, hydroplasmic plasma body. This current is also called the fire letter currents, flowing through our DNA template. And this current, when it flows, allows your 12-strand or higher DNA to turn on. The next step down current is called Maharata current. The Maharata current is also threefold current existing in dimension 10, dimension 11, and dimension 12 in frequency streams of liquid plasma light. This Maharata current is silvery white in color. So this current forms a bridge between the dimensions 1 to 12 and the higher Ekasha layers, which we just did in Kirasha currents. It holds the activation for the original 12-strand DNA template. Next step down current is Antakarna or Kundalini life force current. What is Antakarna? In traditional yogic and esoteric teachings, the Antakarna is the inner bridge between your lower mind, which is the egoic mind, and higher mind, which is the intuitive soul awareness. The rainbow bridge or spiritual cord that connects your personality self to your soul or higher self and ultimately to source. So through Antakarna currents or Kundalini currents, our personality self, the egoic self, is connected to our soul, the higher self. And the higher self is further connected to the source. It is seen in some system as a thread of light. And this thread of light extends from the heart center or third eye upwards, linking your chakra column to your monad or I am presence. So what happens when you bring the Antakarna and Kundalini together? Antakarna is the descending light. You can think of it as a higher frequencies of soul, the monad and the source, descending into your body. And Kundalini is the ascending fire. So this is the earth-bound life force rising up to meet the descending light. So Kundalini is the ascending fire rising from below our spinal cord, and Antakarna is the descending light, which is the higher frequencies of the soul. And together they meet. So what happens when they meet? When they meet, you get a sacred union, the merging of heaven and earth within you. This union opens the heart gateway, which activates the higher DNA strands and begins the true embodiment of your multi-dimensional self. It leads to the formation of the rainbow bridge not just between mind and the soul, but between dimensional selves as well. So when this opens, it connects all the dimensions from 1 to dimension 12 and further to dimension 14, 15, 13, 14, 15. In some teachings, this intersection point is also how the light body is fully formed. And when the light body is fully formed, it comes online. In this diagram, you can have a look at various harmonic universes within us. So there are 5 harmonic universes within us. So Kundalini current is beyond light and sound. It is present in the sound fields basically. Then Ki Rasha current, which is here, is present in dimension 13, 14 and being triadic in nature, it is present in dimension 13, 14 and 15. Then comes Maharata current, which exists in harmonic universe 4 and it is present in dimension 10, 11 and 12. Finally, the Antakarna or Kundalini currents are present in dimensions 1 to dimension 9. So slowly, we can connect through all the dimensions right up to the source, if we are willing to do the work. So just to recap, universal life force currents, the top one which exists in sound fields is Kundalini currents. Then Ki Rasha current existing in dimension 13, 14, 15 comes Maharata step down current because our body cannot tolerate this high voltage of current. This exists in dimension 10, 11 and 12. Theoric current exists in dimensions 7, 8 and 9, which is the higher Antakarna currents. Comes theoradic currents, which is here most of humanity is trying to access theoradic current existing in dimension 4, 5 and 6 at the soul level. Telluric current is one which is we are born with, exists in dimension 1, 2, 3. But slowly we can unlock and we can access all these currents provided we prepare our body and mind to receive these currents. So the life force currents corresponding to the first 9 dimensions is called Kundalini life force currents. Kundalini currents are comprised of, as we discussed, telluric current, which we are born with, is the lowest voltage of current in dimension 1, 2 and 3. There's the doradic current, a bit higher voltage of current we can access in dimension 4, 5 and 6. And finally, the theoric current exists in dimensions 7, 8 and 9, which is the descending current and which we can also access provided we prepare our body and mind to these currents. So Kundalini current is comprised of telluric current, which exists in dimension. Now we just discussed it is comprised of 3 sets of triadic currents. The first is telluric current, which we are born with, existing in dimension 1, 2, and 3. This current is active, is the lowest voltage of current. It is active within the human body since the birth. So we are unable to access the three-dimensional world of consciousness or conscious awareness. The next one. Then comes the Doradic currents, which is also the next stage of Kundalini current existing in dimension D4, D5 and D6. Now, some humans or a very few humans are now accessing and activating Doradic currents. Finally, the Doradic currents, more information about Doradic currents. They are existing in dimension 4, 5 and 6. The Doradic current is sometimes described in the teachings as the higher dimensional or crystalline energy stream. It is associated with advanced light body activation, or we can say interdimensional or galactic lineage. Once you activate the Doradic current, you start activating or making connection with your galactic lineage energies. So once it is activated, it activates the deeper spiritual DNA codes or divine templates. The Doradic current, more information, existing in dimension 4, 5 and 6 is possible. We can discuss some possible characteristics of the Doradic current. Now, when our body and mind receive these currents, it feels refined, crystalline, electric, or even like a golden current. It feels good. It then activates, you receive the downloads, and with the downloads comes inner knowing, or star seed memories are awakened. You start accessing the memories of your galactic lineage, from where you came. Then it starts aligning with the heart and the crown chakras, and also activates the deeper layers of the solar plexus and the pineal gland. Doradic current, again a bit more information, because this is regarding the soul matrix, which a few human beings, or I would say many human beings, some consciously and others unconsciously activating and accessing in dimension 4, 5 and 6. This is where humanity is at the moment. That's why this time is called ascension period. Many souls are activating Doradic current within their body. In Kathara Healing Level 1, Ashiana Dean has taught us how we can activate and run Doradic current. Once you activate the Doradic currents, it clears your miasmic or karmic imprints. I must say at this time that these teachings are based on Kathara Healing volumes written by Ashiana Dean. She has done immense work, and we are grateful for her to pass on these wonderful teachings to us. Unless we clear these miasmic or karmic imprints, we keep living in the loops of our personality matrix. Once we activate the Doradic current, we start accessing the soul matrix, and which slowly clears our karmic or miasmic imprints. Finally, the last triadic current, the three sets of current Kundalini current is made up of, is telluric currents. They exist in dimensions 7, 8, and 9. So obviously, as we are going up, ascending higher, our body and mind has to be prepared to receive the high voltage of current. The nature of this current is, it is a more cosmic, universal, or divine current. It is an infusion of higher celestial energy. Now, the moments this current usually descends down from the higher spiritual realms. It descends down through crown chakra, integrating higher consciousness into your body and your aura. Its purpose is anchoring higher light and divine consciousness in your body and mind. It is a more graceful and illuminating force, or you can say the energy is very graceful, illuminating, feels good. A few souls, and it feels very few souls are right now ascended higher to the level of telluric currents and receiving these currents in their body and mind. It is a subtle, luminous, cool, or radiant. This current is less forceful than Kundalini, and you feel more like a divine presence. A very few souls, are activating telluric currents within them. It is a highly transformative phase humanity is undergoing in the current times. Many souls are advancing and ascending higher to spiritual realms. Lower dimensional energies are surfacing and being integrated into the higher light. With this slide presentation, I am trying to make you aware of the spiritual and higher dimensional awareness into you. Ascending higher, you can access more and more higher voltage of currents which are available or always present in the cosmos, but we are not able to access because we are not prepared. And I feel because many souls are accessing these currents without knowing, I feel that there is more information to be given. So if you like, please subscribe and like this video, and please distribute this series of videos to your friends and family, as many souls are feeling these profound changes within them but have no idea what it is. So through these videos, they would come to know and understand consciously the rise of consciousness within them. So it will take away the doubts and confusion. Many thanks for listening. Bye for now. Take care.